Apple might finally be bringing a long overdue upgrade to the iPhone 17 Pro models, one that Samsung introduced to its flagship phones years ago. According to a well-known tipster, InstaDigital, two of the four iPhone 17 models could feature a more advanced cooling system designed to keep heat in check, especially during intense gaming or high-performance tasks. This upgrade is the vapor chamber cooling system, a feature already found in many high-end Android smartphones. The rumor first surfaced when analyst Ming-Chi Kuo suggested that Apple was considering adding this cooling method to the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Back then, he predicted that only the top-tier model would get this improvement, while the rest of the lineup would stick to the standard graphite sheets used in previous iPhones. Later, reports emerged that Apple might equip all iPhone 17 models with vapor chambers. Now the latest leak suggests a middle ground. Only the Pro and Pro Max models will get the upgrade, while the regular iPhone 17 and the rumored iPhone 17 Air will not. So what exactly is vapor chamber cooling and why does it matter? Unlike traditional cooling methods, a vapor chamber is a more sophisticated liquid cooling system. Inside, a small amount of liquid, usually deionized water, absorbs heat from the processor, turning into vapor. The vapor then moves to a cooler part of the chamber, condenses back into liquid, and releases the heat in the process. This cycle continuously transfers heat away from the processor, preventing overheating and maintaining performance. Many modern smartphones, including the Galaxy S25 Ultra and OnePlus 13, already use vapor chamber cooling. As mobile processors become more powerful, they generate more heat, making efficient cooling systems essential. Without proper cooling, a phone's processor can become too hot, forcing it to reduce power output in a process called thermal throttling. This results in slower performance and lag, especially when running graphics-heavy games or demanding apps. Apple's A-series chips are some of the fastest on the market, but even they aren't immune to overheating. Each new generation brings more power, and with that comes the challenge of keeping temperatures under control. If the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max do get vapor chamber cooling, it could significantly improve sustained performance, making these devices more reliable for gaming, video editing, and other high-performance tasks. It's interesting to see Apple catching up with something that's already common in Android flagships. Samsung, OnePlus, and other brands have been using vapor chamber cooling for years, yet Apple has continued relying on more basic thermal management. While iPhones have been able to handle heat fairly well, the increasing demand for high-performance gaming and AI-powered features means better cooling is more important than ever. Apple's decision to limit vapor chamber cooling to the Pro models also makes sense from a marketing perspective. The company often reserves its most advanced features for the higher-end models, giving customers a reason to choose the more expensive versions. If this rumor turns out to be true, it could make the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max even more attractive to power users and mobile gamers. There's still no official confirmation from Apple, so take this information with a grain of salt. Newly leaked renders of the Pixel 10 Pro XL have surfaced, giving us a look at what could be Google's next flagship phone. At first glance, it looks almost identical to its predecessor, raising the question of whether Google has finally settled on a signature design for its Pixel lineup. While some fans were hoping for a fresh new look, it seems Google is focusing on refining the details rather than making drastic changes. The device is expected to feature a large 6.8-inch display, the same size as last year's Pixel 9 Pro XL. This confirms that Google is sticking with its approach of offering multiple screen sizes for its flagship phones. Alongside this, leaked images of the Pixel 10 Pro and the regular Pixel 10 suggest they will also maintain the same display sizes as their predecessors. By keeping these options, Google ensures that users who prefer smaller devices still have a choice, while also catering to those who like larger screens. According to the leaks, the Pixel 10 Pro XL will measure approximately 162.7 by 76.6 by 8.5 millimeters. This makes it nearly identical to the Pixel 9 Pro XL, with only a tiny difference of 0.1 millimeters in height. With such minimal changes, it's clear that Google is focusing more on internal improvements rather than making major modifications to the phone's external design. The leaked renders also reveal that the camera housing remains unchanged from the Pixel 9 series. Google made a significant design shift last year when it abandoned the visor-style camera bar that had become a signature feature of previous Pixel models. The new flat-sided design was met with mixed reactions, with some praising its modern look, while others pointed out its resemblance to an iPhone. Now, with the Pixel 10 Pro XL looking nearly identical to its predecessor, it seems Google is committed to this new design language. What's interesting is how this approach contrasts with Apple's rumored plans for the iPhone 17. According to recent leaks, Apple may be shaking things up with a redesigned camera module. If this turns out to be true, it could mean that Google is now the one focusing on consistency while Apple experiments with a fresh aesthetic. This shift could indicate that Google sees its current design as refined enough to become an iconic look for future Pixel devices. While the phone's appearance may not be changing much, there's still a lot we don't know about its features. Key details such as camera upgrades, software enhancements, and performance improvements have yet to be revealed. However, Google I/O in May will likely give us a preview of what's to come, particularly with the release of Android 16. As for hardware improvements, we may have to wait until closer to the official launch, which is expected in August, unless, of course, more leaks surface before then. With Google seemingly doubling down on last year's design, the big question is whether this is the right move. Some users may appreciate the consistency, while others might feel that Google is playing it too safe. Either way, the Pixel 10 Pro XL looks set to refine rather than reinvent the Pixel experience. Do you think Google should have introduced a bold new look, or is it smart to stick with a familiar design? Let me know in the comments. If you found this update helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tech news.
Samsung has made several changes to its products over the years, often removing features that were once standard. From the IR blaster to bundled chargers, many features have been phased out. More recently, the S Pen has been downgraded, leading some Samsung fans to worry that it might disappear entirely. However, Samsung has now addressed these concerns, reassuring users that the S Pen is here to stay. In an interview with TechRadar, Annika Bison, Vice President of Product and Marketing for Samsung's Mobile Experience division in the UK, confirmed that the S Pen will continue to be part of the Galaxy Ultra lineup. She explained that Samsung values different ways of interacting with devices, whether by voice, touch, or writing. She highlighted that many people still use the S Pen for note-taking in meetings, and added, "I don't see a space where the S Pen is not a key part of our portfolio." This statement makes it clear that Samsung is not planning to remove the S Pen from its Ultra series devices anytime soon. Bison also mentioned that many customers specifically ask about the S Pen when considering Samsung's Ultra models. She pointed out that this interest in the stylus dates back to the days of the Galaxy Note series, reinforcing its importance to Samsung's high-end smartphone experience. With this confirmation, it's almost certain that the Galaxy S26 Ultra, expected to launch early next year, will include a built-in S Pen. Another interesting question that came up during the interview was whether AI-powered tools have made the S Pen less relevant. With features like AI-assisted drawing, some might argue that the stylus is no longer as essential as it once was. Bison disagreed with this idea, emphasizing Samsung's commitment to creativity. She explained that for users who enjoy drawing and sketching, the S Pen remains a valuable tool. She also highlighted one of Samsung's newer AI features called Sketch to Image, which allows users to create refined images from their hand-drawn sketches. According to her, the S Pen provides a big design edge in this process, ensuring it remains a key part of Samsung's product experience. While Samsung has reassured users that the S Pen is not going anywhere, it's important to acknowledge that it has already gone through some changes. For example, the latest version of the S Pen has a slightly lower latency compared to previous models. This means it may feel a little less responsive to users who have been using Samsung stylus for years. Despite this downgrade, Samsung remains committed to keeping the S Pen available for those who rely on it. Given how much it is associated with the premium Ultra models, it seems unlikely that Samsung would remove it completely anytime soon. For those worried about the future of the S Pen, there's no need to panic, at least for now.